All right, rock and roll. Welcome one, welcome all. Welcome friend, welcome foe. This is the Scorched Earth Political Podcast for April 1st, 2025. I'm your host, John. It's going to be a volatile show today. I got to get hydrated up. If you could, please hit that like and subscribe button. Leave your comments. Always appreciate the comments, the constructive criticisms, the trolls. I don't really care. Bring it on, man. We're ready. It's a 15-round fight. Do. Feel like Rocky. Da. Yeah, I'm not very good with that stuff, you know. So, I was at lunch today, and I was with super producer Stacy, and she is just a talented lady, but, you know, I'm always asking all these questions like, what do we do with this? What do we do with that? And I'm sure I am worse. I am worse than cholesterol for that lady. You know, it's like, I'm sure when she leaves me, her stress level is double what it is before she sees me. She never lets on, never says a word, right? So we're at lunch, and they bring the food, you know, because, hey, I only go to the most elegant places. You know, I'm just like, that's the way I roll. You know, it's either Carl's Jr., Taco Bell, you know, hey, whatever. Okay, hey, we're all trying to save money. Don't hate. Don't. I could see you looking at me. I could see that anger in your eyes. So we're sitting there, and she always has the cool little surf outfit or the surf clothing or hat or whatever. And the lady bringing the food to the table said, "Oh, you like Jack's Surf Shop?" And she goes, "Yeah, you know, I like it, and it's a shame what's going on." And I'm like, what the hell is going on, right? Because, like, I like to think of myself as like this surf guy from California, except my unathletic, way out of shape body won't allow me to surf. But I like to fantasize that I can surf. You know, it's like all these guys when they're at the bar and they watch the football game and the guy, you know, he doesn't catch the ball. And they're like, "Oh, my God, how could you drop that ball? How could you drop that ball?" You know, and the guy's like 450 pounds, and he literally has dropped his chicken wings for the last hour, right? I mean, you know, but this guy is telling supremely conditioned athletes what they're going to do, yeah? So they get into this conversation, and I guess some of the major surf manufacturers, Quicksilver, Volcom, Billabong, Roxy, are going out of business. They declared bankruptcy. I'm like, wow, now what are surfers going to wear? Like, wow, their clothing lines are gone. Now, I understand how the ebb and flow of American business is, right? You know, companies come, companies go. I still got my Blockbuster stock. I know it's coming back. I'm just telling you, it's coming back. But, you know, if you're going to find a demographic for high-end wear, I'm not sure the surf community is really what's going on. I mean, isn't that the community where like one burrito feeds 4 or 5 of those cats? I got a joke. Welcome. What is the difference between a surfer and a large pizza? Wait for it. A pizza can feed a family of 4. Ta. All right. Don't hate. Okay, the good jokes are coming later. So that's how I bring you into it. That's how I keep you going through the podcast, right? So I was coming home today, and I was talking to a good friend named Sean, and I'm lucky. It does seem like most of my circles, that's what I see when I go to sleep at night, circles. And they're all Republican. And like I've said, Brother Bill, Eric, Scott, you know, they're literally the best people I've ever met. It doesn't, you know, I'm not going to get into this thing that they're all evil people, whatever. We just have a different prism of looking at the world, right? And I've been really thinking about this for a couple days since the Tesla thing, and, you know, how we're kind of picking on Elon, you know, and it's not really cool. You know, he's got he's got this company and he's just trying to make a living and he's trying to support people. And it's really been bothering me. Yeah. And I've really been starting to question my own values. Am I really a progressive? Am I really a liberal? And I start to think about, all the things Trump and the Make America Great movement is trying to do for America. And, they're sincere people. They're trying their best. And I'm starting to think maybe I got to make a podcast about being on the Republican side. Because as we all know, there's not enough podcasts that have the conservative slant. And I came to the decision tonight that I'm going to do a conservative podcast. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I just got one more thing to say. April Fools. I just lost half my subscribers there. That's okay. No, Johnny ain't doing that Republican thing. There was my 30 seconds of being a Republican for this year, for this decade, for this century. I'm not going to make it out of this century, And that is why I'm wearing the Quicksilver T-shirt, right? I'm supporting the company that's going away. I love them. Didn't really segue into that too well, did I? I got another little April Fool's joke. Yeah, I'm just a joke master. You think I'm Anthony Jeselnik, Bill Burr. Yeah, maybe. What monster plays the most practical jokes on April Fools? Frankenstein. Yeah. You know what, John? Maybe I ought to get to the political podcast. This isn't going too well. No, really. I will say that when I was thinking about the joke, to kind of ease us into what's coming the next 20 minutes, that it would be something to be in the same party as Marjorie Taylor Greene. And, I was thinking to myself, maybe she's transgender. But then I thought, no, you got to be human to be transgender. But I'm telling you, she's got the build of a weightlifter. She's got the forehead of a linebacker. And she's got the brain of a chimp. Well, no, I think the brain of a chimp might be accelerated past her. Let's say a snail. I don't know what the snail's brain is. It's probably about where mine is right now. And then, I was thinking if I was going to be the Republican, maybe I could finally get that date to go see Beetlejuice with Lauren Boebert. Yeah, I just said that. Yeah. That would be an interesting night. Could you imagine me and her? Yeah. All right. So we're off and running. We're taking no prisoners. We're telling no lies. Welcome to the Scorched Earth Podcast. And, wow, this is going to come as a shock to all you. The biggest thing in the news is our president, Donald J. Trump. Let's see what our best friend had to say yesterday morning.
This morning, President Trump is not ruling out the possibility of seeking a third term, even though it's prohibited by the Constitution's 22nd Amendment. He's joked about it at rallies.
It will be the greatest honor of my life to serve, not once, but twice, or three times, or four times.
Let's not worry about that little constitutional legality. Let's just worry about what makes Donnie happy.
But now, in an exclusive phone interview with NBC's Kristen Welker, he says that there are, quote, methods for doing so, and that a lot of people want me to do it. Asked to clarify, he said, I'm not joking, but added, it is far too early to think about it. Asked about...
He's 9-10 weeks into his administration, and we're already talking about him running for a third term. Because this one's going so well. I'm at a Tesla protest against this administration 10 weeks into his second term, right? Now, one of the little methods is that buffoon who's the Vice President J.D. Vance. Let's see what old J.D. has to say.
About one possible method, Vice President J.D. Vance running for president and then passing the baton if he won, Trump responding, quote, well, that's one, but there are others too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure J.D. is going to do that. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that, letting J.D. be the president? He wins the election and then saying, go ahead, you can have it. Oh, I think I see a replay of Benedict Arnold coming. You know what I'm saying? And I would say, as a progressive, let him run. Let the cat run. Let's go back in the time capsule, everybody, if you would, and talk about the Barack Obama birther comments, okay? And the allegation by the conservative wing of this country that he wasn't born here, that he wasn't born in Hawaii, and that he was born in Kenya, okay? These remarks started to filter through the campaign when John McCain was running, and I think we all remember that regal moment where the lady at one of his campaign stops said, I believe Obama was born in Kenya, and John McCain very calmly said, no, he was born in America. Okay? So with that and with this, we're talking about things that, if they were true, would be illegal, right? And here's how you know the Obama thing was never true, because the Republicans never went to court. Look, think about it. I would love to run a race against somebody who is not able to actually run the race, because three things can happen. Either one, I win, or two, if he wins, I can go to court and get the election thrown out. That's only two, John. Okay. Hey, it's late, okay? My math isn't that sharp, okay? I have the brain of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Her and I do have something in common, okay? I don't have as big of arms as she does, but, hey, I'm going to the gym 5 days a week. I'm trying, okay? Add some more creatine to that water there, sir. Now, so what we got is a situation where I say, just let the cat run. Let the cat run. And then if he wins, right, then we can just go to court and find out what this is. And remember this, it is very clear in the 22nd Amendment what he is able to do. He's not able to run for a third term. You're able to run for 2 terms or 1 term and a significant portion of another. Okay? That's basically what it is, right? That's why Lyndon Johnson was able to theoretically run in 68, because he was only there for literally a year after Kennedy was taken from us, right? So I'm saying, let the guy keep talking. Let the guy keep talking. Let's just worry about what's going on in this country, because believe me, there's quite a bit. There's quite a bit going on. So let's talk about one of my favorite people in the entire world. Yep, I'm going to talk about Peter Navarro, guy from Orange County. Did a little prison time because he defied some court orders. And it seems like our buddy Peter Navarro is back in the news because he is now the tariff czar under our esteemed president. Seems White House aide Peter Navarro said Sunday that he expects Donald Trump's tariffs to bring in, wait for this number, $6 trillion in revenue in the next decade. Okay, Pete. Okay. And I'm going to win the lottery this week, which would amount to the largest tax hike in U.S. history. First of all, I'm wondering if he suffered a little prison trauma there. Little elitist, little rich guy going to prison. 4 months. Maybe he didn't have enough money for soap on a rope. Maybe he found love in there. I don't know. Maybe Kristi Noem is doing some videos in front of the prison he's in, with her Rolex. That was pretty rich. Kristi Noem goes down to San Salvador, to that prison that they're illegally exporting the Venezuelan gang members. Of course, we don't know their names. We don't know the charges. We know nothing about the due process. But let's take the Bill of Rights out of it. Okay, let's just take those out of it. We don't need that. They're all there. They're all gangbangers. They're all extras in Training Day. Okay. And Kristi Noem goes down there for photo ops because, hey, I got to get me some time. And she wears a Rolex. Now, this isn't a Rolex. This is just a Timex. Okay, that's it. Hey, it ends in EX. Okay, so that's about as close to Kristi Noem, the dog killer, as I can get. Right? So maybe Kristi Noem could have done a little time in front of Peter Navarro's prison. I think he served 4 months. I'm not sure if he was cellmates with Steve O'Bannon. But, hey, I got to be honest. In the administration and in that tight circle, nobody would know more about prison conditions than most of the Trump administration. All right. So Navarro, who is Trump's senior counselor for trade and manufacturing. Oh, my God. Where is this country going when that's a fact? Insists it's not a tax increase, but a tax cut. Echoing the Trump administration's repeated belief that tariffs will be paid for not by American consumers, but by businesses in the countries or countries themselves. Let me explain this to you. And I have not heard this anywhere in the ecosystem, okay? That's why this is going to be the biggest political podcast in 2 years. It is. We're going to break. Not like me on the dance floor where I woo, okay? Let me explain to you what this is. I live in California, okay? Greatest state in the country. 5th biggest economy in the world. Some people say 4th, but whatever, okay? And we have multiple gas taxes here. Now, let's just say a gallon of gas is $3. I believe, and I could be off on this, so give me a little love here because I just brought this brilliant inspiration just came to me. I think the federal gas tax is 30 cents. And California's gas tax is something like 40 cents. Okay? Let's just, for a second, just follow with me. Let's call those the tariffs. Okay? Now, that gets added on to the price of the gas. Now, the $3, let's just say both of them combined is 70 cents. Let's say 75. My math isn't that good. It's late at night. I already said 3 and it was really 2. So give me a little love. And when you go to the pump, you pay it. Mobil doesn't pay it. Mobil doesn't pay the 75 cents. Shell doesn't pay it. BP doesn't pay it. F you. You want the product, this is the price. Let's just call it a surcharge, right? That's exactly what's going to happen with tariffs. You really think the Chinese or whatever country is just going to go, hey, we're working on a 10% margin. We're just going to take a 25% cut. That way we can lose 15%. Hey, I got the math right there. I got the math right. Follow me. We're going quick. All right? So Peter continues. He says, tariffs are great for America. They'll make America great again. Wow. Everything is make America great again. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, it maybe if the term for great in this context is we're all going to go bankrupt, maybe we will. That's a possibility. If you look at the economic data, just the fear of tariffs is tanking the stock market, right? I sold my $3 in Blockbuster stock yesterday. Yeah, liquidated my position. Yeah, I'm cash liquid. That's what I got, $3. Maybe I could buy some Bitcoin. We'll see. All right. Trump then plans to announce additional tariffs on Wednesday, which he dubbed Liberation Day. And I was wondering, why is it Wednesday? They were smart enough not to do it on April Fools. All right? Hey, I may have got you, but he ain't going to get us, right? He's going to announce more tariffs on all imported goods as retaliation what he sees as unfair burdens, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Navarro said the tariffs will set the stage for tax cuts to be passed by Congress later this year. I'm going to say this. You're not going to hear this too much anywhere else. The Trump machine is brilliant at messaging. They are. They're much better than the Democrats. They are much, much better. Where they are making a terrible mistake here, okay, maybe, is if they said, we're going to do the tariffs and get rid of income tax, federal income tax, you'd have a winner. But they can't do that, can they? Because it's not going to make the numbers work. Right? Because then they have to admit the tariffs are a tax. But that is their way out. That is their escape hatch, and they're kind of hinting at it. Right? It's like we're in the Millennium Falcon and we're going to head out the back end. Right? Space trash. Yeah. Well, they can't because it doesn't make the economic numbers work when the budget comes around on September 30th. You know, the House parliamentarian isn't going to buy that BS. The OMB isn't going to buy that, Office of Management and Budget. But Peter Navarro keeps digging the hole a little deeper. He says the non-auto tariffs alone are going to raise about $600 billion a year, about $6 trillion over a 10-year period. He also said that the cars tariff is going to add $100 billion. Now, wait for this number. Let's go to this number. All goods that come into this country is approximately $3.2 trillion. Okay? If you taxed everything at 25%, you almost come to his number. You come to his number. So at the end of the day, if you're doing that, do you think consumers are going to keep buying imported goods? Or are they going to peel off to America? They want it both ways. And this is the flaw in their thinking. Okay? If people start buying American, which they want, the tariff money goes away. They act like we're going to use this model right now when there is free trade in America, and we're going to use that as the tax number, but we want everybody to buy America. Have it one way or another. If people continue to buy at the same rate that they are for imported goods, then you get the tariff money, but you don't buy American. There's that. There's a disconnect there. And like I said, they're better at messaging than we are, and the Democrats can't get out there and get the message out. Well, the message is here. That's why I'm the most brilliant podcaster in the world, right? People will change their buying habits if things become more expensive. It's just what it is. Why do you think electric cars are becoming in vogue before we had the riot with Tesla, right? Is because people don't want to pay the gas. I mean, really. I mean, there is a large number of Democrats, and I was talking to Brother Sean about this tonight, that it's funny, the Democrats embraced, the liberals embraced the EV, quote, green revolution, and they were the ones who 70 to 80% of the buyers were there. Well, we went on Fox News, and Sean Hannity for 15 years has been telling us what a bunch of trash it is. Well, now the liberals are caught in a bad place because now they got the EV car that everybody hates, that does the Nazi salutes. You know, you trash a couple Tesla cars, you write a swastika on it, and everybody wants to make us out like we're January 6th, like it's equal. F you. It's like me taking a screw at Home Depot and comparing me to Bernie Madoff. Yeah, right. Kiss my ass. That ain't going down. Right? All right. We're going to go to the last story of the night. And this is the day. Whatever. The Wisconsin Supreme Court race is today. They are voting on it today. Elon Musk at one of his rallies this weekend handed out $2 million checks, which he said were to stimulate the voting community. Come to find out, one of those $1 million checks, there was two people on stage. Okay? There was a guy got $1 million check, and there was a girl who got $1 million check. What a shock. The guy who got the $1 million check was the head of the Young Republicans of Madison, Wisconsin. Ho-ho! Bazinga! I'm culturally cool. I know it all. Okay, I can go from Big Bang to podcast. I can do it all. Don't you fret, all right? So the race is between liberal Dane County Judge Susan Crawford versus Judge Brad Schimmel. It's a classic liberal versus conservative battle. We are going to see exactly where this huge mandate that Trump claims he still has is. We're going to find out. And look, whoever loses is going to say, well, it's just what it is. It is what it is. This is going to be a big thing. This is going to be a big thing in a battleground state for 2028. The Supreme Court there gets to validate the ballots in the 2028 election. It's a big deal. So they also, some of the cases before the court coming up in the next term are the validity of an 1849 law that talks about abortion rights. You know, Arizona had that problem last year. Remember when they instituted that 1800 law about women couldn't have an abortion at any place at any point, and the Democrats bailed them out in the legislature by introducing legislation that said women actually have some semi-right to their body. I mean, were all these laws passed in the 1800s? Like, was abortion really a thing back then? I don't know. I didn't know abortion existed before Godfather 2. All right? Other issues before the court in the next term are public sector unions collecting benefits, bargaining rights, and also voting rules for the next election, gerrymandering especially. All right. That's it for today. Thank you very much for your patience and putting up with my insolence. Love you all. We're in this together. You know, and don't be sad because it's coming to an end. Be happy because we found our place. We are going to fight. We are going to win. We are on the right side of history. And we're doing the right thing for democracy. I love you all. If you could, hit that like and subscribe button. Leave some comments, and I'll talk to you soon.